Welcome. This is David Bowles, Human Meme. Today's topic, Ubiquity in social media. If you hope to be interesting and widespread and well-known in social media, you need to be aware there are those among us who may not share your direct culture or experience or generation. Believe me, of this I know. I have erred on this firsthand, trying to build a social media meme that is both universal without being boring, while also additionally being captivating and interesting, is a daily test if you want to reach a large amount of people. Some social media folk just focus on their home country, and that's fine. But for those of us who wish to expand our reach beyond the physical limitations of where we come from, hewing a wider net is always a good thing to try, even if it may not always turn out as expected. For example, in a recent podcast about Freud's theme of the three caskets, yes, I consider podcasting social media, I was giving some examples of threes in colloquial use. And trying to be funny, I used the title of a 1980s television show, Three's Company, as part of a larger exemplar list. Thinking people would get the joke, that the title in comparison with Two's Company, Three's a Crowd would be interesting and a joke getter. Sure, people of my age and of my generation and of my will of the wall in the USA likely got the joke, but not many people, I learned, outside those narrow parameters of the United States got the joke. And several people were in touch to correct me on my wrong use of the phrase Three's Company instead of Three's a Crowd. I absolutely stand corrected. That all was a bit of unwitting American hubris at play on my part. And I willfully explained the joke to everyone who asked, which was a pretty lame insider joke to start, I admit. And I provided links to online episodes of the show to try to explain the joke I was going after. All of that explaining and linking and deferring was all mounting evidence that one tiny 2-second bit of unfunny business in a 15-minute podcast can in fact ruin the listening experience for someone, especially those you covet the most as a podcaster, those who carefully take notes and who then think about expanding what you're trying to say when you share it. Lesson learned. But I wasn't done yet. About a week later, I made the same, similar goof, but this time the social media meme was on Facebook. One of my most precious and valuable followers on Facebook, she used to regularly comment on almost everything I posted over there, sent me a lovely reply, and her first language is German, so she has to translate her replies into English before she sends them. And I know that is a lot of work just to make a single connection about a single point. And she translated everything to me in her reply about cats and the internet and loving them as I do, except for one word she did not translate into English that she used right at the end of her sentence. And that word was Katzenfutter. It's all one word, Katzenfutter. Katzenfutter. I had to look up Katzenfutter in the English translation, and it means cat food. Not cat litter, like every English-speaking person presumes that I've shared this story with offline. I loved learning the definition of Katzenfutter, and I wrote a new social media update bragging and braying that my favorite new word of the day was now Katzenfutter via my new friend in Germany on Facebook. Well, my German friend, of course, replied to that update in English, saying only this: word of the day. Oops. Yes. Word of the day is the proper colloquial use. She was correcting me in my own cultural error and telling me off at the same time. I was, again, being too cute and not taking into consideration an international, borderless audience of people who are trying to connect and understand me, but can't fully because I'm trying to be funny between world of the day and word of the day. So, I replied to my good German friend, writing the following and also commenting on several other of her replies to me all at one time. And this was all in public. I said, yes, social media can be overwhelming. Twitter is both an abyss and a pool. You have to be careful where you lean and what you touch. We are the same age, so it's all about expectation and belief, I suppose. I also thank you for the word of the day correction, as I was being too cute by half for an international audience. I was trying to be wordsmithy and fun by saying world of the day as a trans world take on word of the day between Germany and the USA and Katzenfutter. I think the USA Twitter people got my joke, and that's why it soared with such popularity. But that doesn't mean the rest of the world understood it as well. Lesson learned. Thank you. Now, rereading that right now with you, I realize wordsmithy, wordsmith, wordsmithy, word-smithy. It was a joke. It was probably not very funny. And probably just as bad as world of the day. Okay, then. Well, after that reply, my German friend didn't comment on anything that I posted for about 5 days. Lesson learned. Again. So let's review some good advice, I hope, about living and learning on a live wire called the web, where everything is fair game, and everyone is listening and learning and replying and wondering about meanings and memeing. And above all else, you always need to be clear without being boring or bland. Being clear doesn't mean you cannot introduce new ideas or meaning. Just explain them first for context, and all will be well. Best advice: don't be precious. There's an old saying in writing that while editing your own work, you need to kill your darlings. That means you need to edit out the things in your writing that you find most funny and the cutest, because nobody else will feel the same way. Explain things. Yes, I'm repeating this again, for emphasis and for my remembering. There's nothing wrong with using Three's Company or World of the Day or Word Smithy if you just take a moment to explain what you're doing and why, and the history or definition of something. Those few extra moments of understanding will be appreciated and will help everyone know exactly what you mean without guessing, in a context you are defining right there and then for them in shared real time. Photographs are always enjoyed. The universal language of everyone is the eye. There is no translation needed for what you see. I post a lot of art-related images, but the shots that get the best juice, best reaction, are always my original photos taken in New York City. I don't know if it is the authenticity of the city that makes those posts popular or not, but original images really make my social media status pop, as in popularity. Popping in a good way. Into ubiquity. As well, beware of posting personal images that are not of you. People follow you for a reason, if you are known but not family. And while your kids and family members are of great interest to you, they are not ubiquitous enough to gain you popularity and understanding across the world. You think the world of your kids and family, but the rest of the world is uninterested. If you insist on pushing your kids and family on social media, maybe try to limit it to Facebook, because those images will be prioritized for your immediate friends and family by the Facebook overlords and their animals in the system. And Facebook is Grandma's sitting parlor, while Twitter is the back alley abortion clinic. Crass, but true if you think about it. Facebook is a safe harbor, while Twitter is anything goes, all the time, every time. You know this. In ubiquity. Finally, go for the jugular, your own, in exposing what you know in expression. That is vital and the key to it all. People can smell a phony from half a world away. And if you don't have genuineness and realness and authenticity right from the start, then you should not be posting on social media for a wide, universal audience. Stay at home, close your Facebook feed, and be happy in your non-ubiquity. But if you decide to have a higher clinging and need to make larger connections with people all over the universe of the world, then be worldly and understanding and open to new ideas, while also calling out the trolls and acting up, acting up against hatreds and miscalculations that are all around you. Those are tough and hard tasks that can be exhausting. But what choice do you have? It is now your sworn moral duty to protect and serve the truth of what you know. And what you know, the rest of humanity probably knows as well, but too often prefers to forget or won't admit in the midst and in the smallness of their lives. And in the narrowness of their thinking, you can help them in their marrow to open up to the truth of the universe, yawning before them in expectation of boredom and of being fed. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.